So as you guys can see from that comment there, some of you guys are thinking about getting into homesteading, how to get into homesteading, and I can tell you, it's not always easy. As you can hear from the background, I got some naughty pigs. And the reason why they're in this enclosure is because they were naughty and somehow broke out of that one. And like I said, it's not always easy. So we're gonna get these guys shut up real quick, and then we'll keep talking about homesteading. It's amazing what a handful of feed will do. Look, you decided to come visit. No, you can't eat the phone. And the cow's over there somewhere. There she is. And the chickens are all out. So as you can see, the pigs did a number. They broke out of their enclosure, and we had to basically rouse them inside here, which is our garden. It's going to be our garden space, which wasn't very hard to do because pigs think with their tummies. So today is one of those long days. I'm going to tell you why. Livestock animals, they're so needy, and they get so, why did you give the pig stuff? What about me? I thought you loved me. I thought you loved me. They're so nosy. But essentially, today's one of those hard days. I have to go into town. I got to pick up a lot of stuff here because the pigs kind of just ran through everything. But I got to go into town. I got to get some fencing, and I got to rebuild this fence. And while I'm in town, I'm going to grab some stuff. So, this homesteading thing, is not just something that you pick up and like, you know what, I'm going to try my hand at it. No, it's an actual lifestyle change that you have to really commit to. Now, I'm not trying to persuade you not to do it, but I'd be lying if I said it's just as easy as, getting some livestock animals and putting them in a yard. And as many of you guys have heard me say, this is what I'm going to do till the day I die. 110%, I'm going to homestead till the day I die. I love it that much, and I would never change anything. I mean, this gorgeous view, are you kidding me? I wouldn't change it for the world. But I'd be lying to you if I said that, it's always all hunky-dory all the time. I mean, think about it, guys. I don't even have a Wi-Fi here. You know what I mean? I wasn't able to do a podcast or a live stream with somebody just because I didn't have connectivity. My hotspot didn't work, among some other things. So, it's a lifestyle commitment, is what I'm trying to say. And so, for those of you that are still interested, I have a few helpful tips that help me. Is that just not a great view? Great shot. So while it's easy for me to say, why wouldn't anybody want to wake up to that every morning? I get it. I get it because this lifestyle is hard. It's not easy. So we just stopped off at Home Depot, got some welded wire for pretty cheap, and got some T-posts for pretty cheap, so that was good. Now we're headed off to the feed store, and this is all over an hour away in the city. And by city, I mean, I think maybe they have 50,000 people here. This is a big city to me. Anyway, so we're gonna go over there, see what they got just on pricing and stuff since we're out here. But my first recommendation for anybody that's wanting to get into homesteading is just really ask yourself why. You know what I mean? There's a lot of homesteaders there on the interwebs that are on YouTube that, are they really homesteaders, or they just live in the city or suburbs with a big garden? I don't know. I'm not here to judge. But you have to really ask yourself, what is it about homesteading that, you're hoping to get from it or gain from it? What's the inner goal of it? I think that's the first question you should ask yourself. The next thing I would ask yourself is it permissible to do the things you're wanting to do? A lot of people say, first off, get into chickens, get into ducks, get into rabbits, whatever livestock, right? Goats, sheep, what have you. But before you do that, you should know what the rules and regulations are. City ordinances, county ordinances, state law. Also look at is where you're at, do they actually have a homeowners association? Are there CCNRs? Are there certain deeds built in that would preclude you from doing certain things? These are all things that I'd want to know before I even get started. You want to know what you're up against before you start actually purchasing things and before you start actually going forward. Also, before you get into livestock, I would really highly encourage you guys, before you get into livestock at all, make sure that you have a good idea of what you're going to get, and then get the infrastructure set up first. I can't tell you how many people that I know and how many people I've seen on the interwebs, and even myself included. You get a livestock animal before you are 100% set up, and you can't be prepared for everything, but you really want to have a good idea of the infrastructure they're going to need before you set it up. You don't want to get a bunch of chickens and not have a coop or have a run or have infrastructure set up before you do, especially with pigs. I mean, look at the situation I'm in now. I have the infrastructure set up. I had all the fencing up. I had everything set up, and for the longest time, it's been pig-proof. And then one day, they find the chink in the armor, and here I am in the big city trying to get everything squared away. Next word of advice, before you get into livestock, I would say have a garden set up. Really get into gardening first. Now, everybody's different. Some people are homesteaders and they mainly just focus on livestock. And if that's what you want to do, that's great. Then, I would say get the infrastructure in place of the animals that you want. And obviously this video isn't to tell you what type of animals to get into, but get the infrastructure set up. Start getting those steps set up after you already know what the rules and regulations that would preclude you from that are. But for those of you that are wanting to do the full homesteading experience, I'd highly encourage you guys to do a garden. And here are a few reasons why. Gardening is a great segue into homesteading because it really teaches you the patience, the fundamentals, patience, responsibility, getting up every day, going out there, tending to it, and it gives you that safety net of if something happens, right, and your plants die, well, at least they're plants, they're not living creatures. So I'd say that's one advantage. And two, it's a responsibility that you can, try over a spring or summertime. And if it's not something you want to do, then it's, hey, no harm, no foul. Because like I said before, they're plants. So you can just, you can pull them, or you can just, rototill them back into the ground. It gives you kind of a trial period to see if this is something that you like, and it helps you to build upon and expand upon those skill sets and those really rudimentary skills that I say are important in homesteading. Because I see it all the time, and I always try to capitalize on those opportunities, but you have people that want to get into homesteading, so they go out and they get all these chickens, or they get these sheep, or, insert rabbits, insert animal here, and then, their kids aren't into it, or it was more work than they thought, and then now they have all these animals that they're, begrudgingly taking care of every single day, and so they usually end up trying to get rid of them, or, selling them, and obviously their pain is my gain, but it's really a pain that I would highly encourage people not get into in the first place, because it does cause problems. So I'd say if you're new to this whole homesteading thing, like I said, look up the rules and regulations, get into gardening, see if that's a thing that you'd like to do, and then slowly build up the infrastructure until you're ready to get your first livestock animal. The feed stores finally have chicks. Yep, those are plastic toys. Coming soon to a feed store near you. Maybe. I just got home. As you can see in here, it's raining. So I think I'm gonna let it die down just a little bit before I get out there and start fixing the fence. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing and the biggest takeaways, I think, for those of you that are wanting to get started, just be smart. I don't want to see people fail. And nobody wants to see homesteaders like I do. I want to see everybody homestead. But I realize that the applicability is gonna determine and be different depending on where you're at. Not everybody can do what I do out here. Not everybody wants to do what I do out here. So like I said, know what you can do, know why you want to do it, know what you can't do and what you can do. Start with the garden, start building up on the infrastructure, and when that time comes to finally introduce livestock, you'll be all set and ready. Now, it's not difficult to do, guys. I know it sounds like a lot. I know it seems like it's overwhelming, but it's really not. Nobody wants to see homesteaders like I do. I want everybody to be a homesteader, but I know the applicability is going to determine, and it's going to change based upon where you're at. I want everyone to go out there and homestead. I want everyone to be successful, though. It always sucks when I go out somewhere and people had really great intentions, but now they have these animals they can't take care of. A lot of times that's my gain, right? A lot of times that's my gain. Their pain is my gain. But we should really be thinking about the animals, and we should really be doing things in an efficient manner. So hope that was helpful for you guys. And as always, guys, long live the Republic.